Hi, everybody. Spring has sprung here, and so I thought I would share this week some of the books about spring with you. And today I'm going to share one of my all-time favorites. It's a book called Bubba and Trixie. It's by Lisa Campbell Ernst. And it's not only about spring, but it's about friendship, and it's about trying things you might be a little frightened of. So sit back and relax, and we will share today Bubba and Trixie. Look at this beautiful garden. Are your gardens that much in bloom yet? Mine is just starting here. Bubba and Trixie by Lisa Campbell Ernst. Bubba was a fraidy cat, a nervous Nellie, a tremble-toes, and until the day Trixie came to visit, he had never set even one of his 16 feet off the parsley plant where he was born. Do you see who Bubba is? He's a caterpillar. Look at all his feet. Bubba wanted to go out into the garden, but he was too scared. Bugs frightened him, flowers, the wind, and the rain all scared him. Why, he was even scared silly of his own shadow. "Have mercy!" Bubba shrieked when he saw Trixie for the first time. "Don't hurt me!" Do you see Trixie? What is Trixie? Does Trixie look like somebody who could hurt somebody else? Trixie laughed so hard she tumbled from the leaf she was standing on and landed with a thud 3 leaves below. "What have I done?" Bubba hollered, and forgetting his fear, he hobbled down the stem to see if the tiny ladybug was still alive. "Why didn't you fly? You're a ladybug!" Bubba wailed. Trixie held up her right wing. "Wings crimped," she said. "Never could fly." Bubba gasped. "Never? Aren't you scared you'll be eaten?" For an instant, Trixie looked sadly at her wing. "Hogwash," she snorted at last. "What makes you such a jittery, scaredy cat?" "Take a look," whined Bubba. "I can't fly or hop or even run. I'm probably the biggest slowpoke in the whole garden except for—" Bubba eyed Trixie. "Me?" Trixie finished. Bubba hung his head and began to cry. "But I'm uglier than a clod of dirt and twice as clumsy," he wept. "I'm too scared even to leave this plant." "Now stop it," Trixie said. "You've never been out there?" She waved at the brilliant garden. "Of course not," Bubba sobbed. I want to, but I can't. It's just too plain scary." Trixie studied the trembling caterpillar. "Well, it won't be scary with me," she said at last. Bubba started to object, but Trixie stopped him. She pushed him to the edge of the leaf he was standing on, overlooking a huge bed of Corsican mint. "Hold my hand," ordered Trixie. "Close your eyes. Now, jump!" And before he knew it, Bubba was hurtling through the air with a strange ladybug holding his hand. Do you see them flying through the air together? When they landed on the mint below, it was as soft as a new feather bed. Bubba swooned from the excitement and the smell of mint that filled the air. "Come," said Trixie, and she marched Bubba through the garden, talking all the way. She named each of the flowers and plants and all the insects and beasts that lived in their world. She taught Bubba how to keep an eye out for birds, which plants had stickers, and where the spiders hid. Bubba marveled at the garden around him. With Trixie at his side, he felt magically free, as if he could do anything at all. "Now that I've taught you to be careful," said Trixie, "it's high time I taught you how to have fun." Shall we see what they do to have fun together? Doesn't that look like a beautiful garden? And from that moment on, life was never the same for the 2 new friends. Trixie taught Bubba how to play tag in the petunias and hide and seek in the snapdragons. On rainy days, they slid down iris leaf water slides and sailed across puddles in magnolia leaves. They played games with the roly-polies, told jokes to the grasshoppers, and sang songs with the bees and the beetles. Look at them having fun. Would you like to go on a slide like that on a leaf? On windy days, Trixie and Bubba could be seen riding tiger lilies like bucking broncos. On sunny days, they made monster shadows in the grass. No matter where they went in the garden, everyone knew who they were. You two move slow as molasses, their friends agreed, but you sure know how to kick up your heels. Bubba never knew life could be so much fun. Being a caterpillar is grand, he crowed. The summer slowly unfolded before them, one day after another. Each evening the two friends climbed to the highest sunflower in the garden and watched as the sun set and the fireflies appeared. They danced to the music of crickets in the grass and made wishes on the stars above. Trixie's was always the same each evening. "I wish I could touch the stars," she said. "Do you see the fireflies? They'll be out in a couple months." One August night, Bubba too wished out loud. "I wish for everything to stay exactly as it is right now forever," he said. A grasshopper chuckled nearby. "Of course that is impossible," he said. "It's nearly autumn and life is about to change very much, especially for you." "What does he mean by that?" Bubba asked Trixie. Trixie looked at her friend and smiled. "Surely you know, dear, that during the winter you will change into a butterfly." Bubba stared at her blankly. "Absolutely not," he said. "But that's what caterpillars do. They become butterflies," Trixie said gently. "That's just how it is." Bubba's face turned pink. "Well, not for me," he shouted. "I like being a caterpillar. I don't want to be a butterfly." He stomped his feet. A crowd was beginning to gather. "But don't you see," said the grasshopper, "as a butterfly you'll be able to travel with great speed like me." "And fly like me," buzzed a bee. "And be beautiful like me," said a jewel beetle. "And graceful like me," called a mayfly. Bubba threw his arms around Trixie and cried, "But I don't want to change. I just want to stay me and be your friend." "We'll always be friends," Trixie said. "So what if you're a caterpillar or a butterfly?" But Bubba refused to listen. No matter what Trixie said, Bubba insisted he would not change. Weeks passed slowly. Then one chilly day, Bubba gave out a whoop. "I got it! The perfect plan so I will never become a butterfly." Trixie listened silently. "I will build a house around myself," Bubba declared, "so tight that I could not possibly change. I will stay there all winter so that in spring I will be the same, and we will be friends just as always." Trixie was quiet for a long time. "We will always be friends," she whispered at last. "That I promise." The next morning, Bubba began his project with great gusto. Climbing up a parsley plant, he spun a button of silk to attach himself. "It's odd," Bubba chuckled. "I've never built a house before, but somehow I know just what to do." "I think a caterpillar's house is called a cocoon," Trixie said quietly. Actually, scientists call it a chrysalis. "Yay, yes, well, whatever," mumbled Bubba, continuing his work. "Now, where will you be?" "Ladybugs sleep through the winter too," Trixie answered. "I'll be right below you, under the mint leaves." "Perfect," Bubba said sleepily, suddenly exhausted. Trixie settled between the leaves. "See you in the spring," she called. But before Bubba could answer, the two best friends had fallen asleep. Winter came. The final leaves fell from the trees, and soon snow and ice covered the ground. Trixie and Bubba were safe in their winter beds, lost in dreams of sunshine and snapdragons, sunsets, and the summer wishing stars. Winter day followed winter day. Then gradually the earth began to warm, the days to lengthen. Daffodils rose and flowered. Trixie woke to spring's earthy smells and raced up the parsley plant to find Bubba's house. "Bubba," she whispered, "are you in there?" Trixie pressed her ear against the cocoon but heard nothing. "Bubba," she said louder, "wake up! It's spring!" "Is it that you, Trixie?" said a mumbly voice from inside. "Of course it is. Please come out." Very slowly Bubba poked his sleepy head out of the cocoon, then struggled and squeezed the rest of the way out. "Hey, it worked," he croaked. "I'm still me." "Of course you are," Trixie answered, standing back for a better look. "You, with a bit more." Bubba looked behind him and saw two very wet, crumpled butterfly wings. "But why do I still feel like me?" "Because you are still you," Trixie said. "Only the part on the outside changed. Don't you see? What's important is all on the inside, and that never changes. We will always be friends." Bubba smiled slowly, looking at his drying wings. "Whoa-wee!" he shouted. "I'm downright gorgeous." He wiggled his wings in the light and danced a jig. Trixie took Bubba's new butterfly hands in hers. "After all the things I showed you how to do," she said, "there is one thing you can now show me." "What?" asked Bubba, still eyeing his now dry wings. Trixie leaned forward. "How it feels to fly," she said. "Oh, no," gasped Bubba. "I can't. It's too scary." "Well, it won't be scary with me," Trixie declared, climbing on his back. "Hold my hand," she ordered. "Close your eyes. Now jump!" And so Bubba stretched out his wings and jumped. "Flutter!" cried Trixie. For one perilous instant the two friends began to sink. Bubba flapped faster, his tiny heart pounding. He was all caterpillar bravery and butterfly razzle-dazzle. Trixie held on for her life. Then, oh, so slowly, the two friends began to rise. A breeze caught under Bubba's wings. "I'm flying!" he shrieked with delight. "I'm still me, and I'm flying!" Down below, the garden creatures looked up in amazement toward the sound of laughing. Higher and higher, Bubba and Trixie soared, until it seemed to everyone that they could indeed touch the newly emerging wishing stars. And that is the story of Bubba and Trixie. And there's in the back a few facts about caterpillars and butterflies. I will leave this here. You can stop your film if you want to read it. And then, if you want to, you can do a craft about butterflies. You can take a toilet paper roll and make it into a butterfly. I will put a link to instructions at the bottom of this video in the information. You could also go outside onto your sidewalk and draw around you with chalk and then draw on a beautiful pair of wings. Or you can find some beautiful scarves in your house and put on some fun music to dance to and pretend you are a butterfly and dancing around the room. So those are all possibilities. And of course, get outside and explore your gardens around you, see what's starting to grow. And I will be back with you tomorrow with another really fun book called If at First You Do Not See. So this is Miss Carol signing off, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.